Hello and welcome to my review of the Hawaii map. As you guys can probably tell, I'm just as sick as Terraria episode 2, and the next couple videos are all filmed within they're voiced over within the next 3 or so days that I've been sick, as I did the potato and I did this one. So yeah, it's pretty awful. I'm not feeling the best, but I think that's just how things go. And how I start every review is sound design. I like going into sound design because it's how I find games. And yes, Minecraft is playing over this. And it's also what I was listening to while playing this, so that kind of takes away from stuff a little bit. But I like the birds chirping. They didn't really remind me of tropical birds. There wasn't any difference in zombie sounds. There wasn't any difference in a lot of stuff. It was just your basic water design. It stuck to the game principles. Also, nothing in the sound design really stood out to separate it from the other Unturned maps in not a bad way. I like when they kind of get along and it's like you never want one map to stand out in super exorbitant amount. I do find that each of them kind of is similar enough, but while having its own distinction, its own little differences that make all the difference. Going into that theme of distinction, that I think a lot of these maps will essentially be, that's what the review is. It's how it just makes itself distinct and unique from the others. Let's get into world design. I'm not going to cover UI again because UI is the same in almost every map. There's only like 2 or 3 I will cover UI in. But with world design, I think you have to get into NPCs. I didn't get into that a lot with the base game because I thought it would be pretty good to be comparing, holy shit, yeah, I'm not redoing this take again, comparing NPCs from the base game to the curated maps. And the curated maps, especially this one, I noticed NPCs offered a whole lot of quests, and looking on YouTube and the wiki, it's basically where I get half the knowledge from. As you guys will see, I only play for like 2 hours and speed up the footage, or sometimes even a lot less than that. But the NPCs on this map offer a lot of quests, and from that and from the footage, I'm able to assume that they offer a lot more quests, and that offers a lot of quest variety, a lot of things to do, which is pretty good for a game like this, or not really a game. Each of these, I think that is something I should make apparent. Each of these do feel like their own little game. It feels like Gary's mod, where everything is like a game mode. That's kind of what the maps feel like here. While they each have the same patterns and the same, I don't know what to call it, like cliches. They all feel just unique enough, except for like 1 or 2 of them I'll get into later on. But I think that lends itself to a different experience for sure, because each one gives you something slightly different. Here I had to change the difficulty. This was probably the hardest one to review and to get like actual opinion on, because of how I was playing on such a hard difficulty. I ended up resetting back to like normal with a couple like upped vehicles and up drop counts for the other reviews, and that really played into what I needed to review these. I don't want to make it too redundant, so I'm just going to go a little bit more into the world design with the theme of distinction. This map did make itself distinct until I played Rio, as they feel very similar. Rio has more secrets like a submarine and some other stuff, but other than that, Rio is, actually that might not be Rio. I'm pretty sure it is. It's either Rio or Easter Island. All three of them, though, feel very similar. Tropical, too aligned with the base game with tints and stuff that the trees and different rock formations and the towns looking a slight bit different all still felt very much like the same game. As someone who's been to Hawaii, some of the stuff just didn't really stand out or make it seem like Hawaii. Yeah, it seemed tropical. It seemed distinct enough when comparing it to, I'm going to keep using that word, when comparing it to, Washington, Germany, or Belgium, I think it is, and then like Russia. Those little things made it stand out enough, but I don't know, it felt very much the same. And there's not really much else to get into when it comes to like, oh, hello Annabelle. She likes to join me when she hears me talking. When it comes to reviewing this, there's really not much else to get into. I think a final review score should go off of sound design, zombie placement. I don't really need to get into that. It's very similar to base game. Sound design, zombie placement, they didn't change anything with stats, with gear, they were very loyal to the base game, so I think it's going to end up being a very similar score. The only difference is, it's just a new map. That's what you see from some of these earlier curated maps, is that they are just very much the same thing. It's more the same. It's your Unturned fix. They feel like those default maps. That's not necessarily a bad thing. For what it's supplying as a tropical map within the base game feeling, I gotta give it like a 7.4, or maybe even like just a flat 7. I don't like to be the type to think my reviews matter, but the reason I would give it that score is just because it's so similar to the base game that, yeah, it's not bad, but I didn't find any secrets. Even Easter eggs when compared to PEI and like Washington, and there's a couple Easter eggs on those. I really didn't see any Easter eggs, and I was over, I'd like to say at least 25 to 30, maybe even 40% of the map I walked over during this Let's Play right here, and then the little bit I did outside of filming, because there was a little bit after that as I had a second session that I decided not to add in here, as, I can't, hello Annabelle, I couldn't really, voice over more, because I didn't have too much to say. I think that's also the reason I'm giving it the 7, is that there's just not too much to say about it. It feels the same, and that's not a horrible thing. Like, that's not something I frown upon. That's not something I get upset at. But as someone who's played the other ones before filming this, compared to the others, compared to base game, it's like a solid 7. Compared to the others, it might even be a 5 or a 4. I would say a 6 tops when compared to the other curated. And that's really the end. I want to say this is not entirely a review thing. This was more my way of doing a Let's Play of Unturned, because I've already played it so much that I can't really do like a fresh off the boat Let's Play like I do with Brotato and stuff. So my way of getting to play these maps and enjoy them and partake in everything that Unturned base game and Unturned Curate had to offer was reviewing it. So, like I said, I'm coming at it from the perspective of a gamer. This isn't reviewing for the sake of review. This is reviewing for the sake of playing. And for those who watched through and to this point understand that that's where I'm coming from, that this isn't critique, this is critique as an excuse to play and have fun and and be more observant and more enthralled and more within the game world. I thank you for watching this all the way through. And as always, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or whenever you're watching this. Hope you guys come back for more. If not, I hope you enjoyed your time here. I hope to see you guys again. If not, that's alright. And yet again, for those who are pumping up that watch time, watching this all the way through to that, final mark or even that 5-minute mark, y'all mean the world to me. And the fact I'm nearly to 30 subscribers when I was working on a 20 subscriber special is just insane. And I gotta say thank you guys. This is feeling less and less like a hobby and more like I'm doing something for a purpose, so thank you.